Good to go. Swoosh.
Up here to start.
Oh, well,
Welcome to the third episode of the No Signal podcast.
this is editing, right? I mean,
Yep,
you can just start
we
anytime.
can cut it out, right? But today I got Jet with me here, Mr. William. How are we feeling today?
Good. Doing
All
well.
right.
How's it going? Congrats
Good.
on starting the podcast. Pretty fucking awesome.
Thank you.
Or-
And I'm sure everybody knows, but what game are we bringing to the people today?
Soul Calibur 2.
All right. Go ahead and get set up for versus here.
Sure.
Let me get that and all right. I double check game audio here real quick.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's do what you gotta do.
All right, and we're back for real. All right.
Okay, welcome back to the stage of history.
Yep. Glad to have you on today.
Yeah. Happy to be on the third episode of this ever expanding podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Got your buttons checked? Good.
They should be set. They were not.
Yeah. I see you're representing the samurai spirit
Oh
there.
yes, of course. Gotta rep the Mitsurugi shirt. Thank you.
Oh man, when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Time to pass this on.
Yeah. An actual relic here.
It's Soul Calibur,
Mm-hmm.
not 2, but
Yep.
you know.
I mean, still the costume's close enough, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So you want to just start playing and
Yeah, we'll just start playing and bouncing off and doing some questions here.
Sure.
All right.
Ready whenever you are.
Yep. Let's get it started. All right. So, and it's on you for stage select. All right. So. All right. So, tell me a little about yourself, Jet. When did the whole fighting game interest start for you?
Let's see. Well, beginning from the very beginning, you know. I wouldn't say Street Fighter 1. That was rare to see around areas, but definitely when I saw Street Fighter 2, you know, for the first time, I went to in Tampa. I don't know if the bowling alley's still there, but it's Regal Lanes.
Okay. Yeah.
That was on, I think it was on Hillsborough. But our family used to go there, you know, Friday nights, and they had every bowling alley had a small arcade section. First time I saw Street Fighter 2, blew me away. I saw Blanca.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, man, this is big. The graphics were so big, you know, compared to other games at the time.
Mhm.
And you know, that was circa 1990, right? And yeah, I was 10 at that time, so it just hit the right spots. And,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Firing all the
could
things a 10-year-old kid would like.
you could button mash with Blanca and do electricity.
Yeah.
And that was just golden. So it all started with Street Fighter, of course. Man, I cannot play when I talk. Anyways,
Awful on both of us.
That's
All
fine.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, the love for fighting games, definitely Street Fighter 2. You know, they started showing up everywhere. If you would go to a Walmart back in 1990 to 91, 92, you would find a Street Fighter 2 arcade cabinet there
Yeah.
at every Walmart, along with Pit Fighter. You know what that game is,
Yeah,
right?
I know what that is. Yeah.
So Pit Fighter and Street Fighter 2 were always at Walmarts. Before you enter, there's like where the carts would be.
yeah. Kind of like where they got like where they had the crane
double
games
doors,
at.
yeah, crane
like
games,
the
yep.
little middle area.
You would find that, or sometimes you would find a Neo Geo cabinet with multiple games.
Okay, yeah, the like
So you-
three
yeah.
game, 4-game Neo
So
Geo
you'd find
cabs.
Fatal Fury there, and but yeah, so it was pretty, pretty widespread.
All right.
When Champion Edition came out, it was word of mouth that it was at a certain Circle K.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'd have my mom driving me to Circle K and like, oh, we can play Vega now. Yeah. So yeah,
So cool.
good times.
And what it started the 3D kick. What got you onto the Tekken and the Soul Calibur?
Let's see. Well, back then we played every fighting game, right? Um, Tekken first came out. I didn't really own the PlayStation, but we were able to rent a PlayStation from
Oh yeah,
Blockbuster.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was one of the games we would always rent because it was so wild. Like the moves were, you could feel the impact back then. Like, dang.
It definitely had a lot more weight than
Yeah.
like Street Fighter would have back then.
So there are 3 stages of Tampa Lanes that I used to go. It was before fighting games, during the golden age of fighting games, and then like its decline. So before fighting game came out, from 1988 to 93. I mean, fighting games came out, but Tampa Lanes didn't really have. Hold on, I'm trying to fight too. Played a lot of Killer Instinct when Tampa Lanes had it. So Tampa Lanes, when it had a lot of fighting games in its one arcade, it was back-to-back cabinets. They didn't have air hockey or any of that stuff, and they had like 3 Killer Instinct 1 machines. And yeah, we just find out all the ultimates and all the ultras.
Yeah.
Yeah. Soul Blade came out. That used to be in every movie theater. What am I doing here? I'll just practice some of this. But yeah, we just played every game. Like literally every fighting game that came out, we just played.
Okay.
When we were kids, we had nothing else to do. So.
Yeah, I remember the first 3D fighting game that I played that kind of like started that bug with me was Dark Rift on the N64.
Okay, yeah.
So not great, especially looking back now, but it was a start.
I gotta give a mention to Virtua Fighter 1 and 2.
Of course.
Psychic Force. They used to have that at University Mall. Psychic Force 2012 or something like that. Battle Arena Toshinden was huge for PlayStation. That was one of the launcher games, it seemed like. But yeah, when the 64 came out, definitely there were, Mace, the Dark Ages. I remember Rise of the Robots. Random, I don't know. But yeah. But Soul Blade, I was a Li Long player. Yeah, I've always liked nunchucks. Yeah. And Soul Calibur just changed it everything, like as far as the jump from Soul Blade to Soul Calibur was huge, kind of like the jump from Mortal Kombat 1 to Mortal Kombat 2.
Just
Street
expanded
Fighter,
so much.
Yeah, Street Fighter 2 kind of stayed the same throughout its iterations, right? Super, and then Super Turbo, and even Double Impact and Third Strike. It was still very, at its core, a Street Fighter 2 game.
Yeah, it still felt very, very samey.
But Soul 2 was like, oof, even more. So we're still playing it.
Yep.
We're not playing Soul Calibur 1 because it's still good, but man, 2 is just. I feel like it's almost a near perfect fighting game.
Yeah, it just in terms of balance too, because there was like a little bit of busted stuff with 1, but like 2, aside from like the non-cab characters, feels like very, very balanced.
Yeah. I believe so. You don't want to underestimate anybody in Soul 2.
Especially like if that's the character they play, they'll throw some stuff out that you've never seen before, just haven't figure out a way to, like how they throw their strings or how they play the character.
That was a poison dart. It's hard to get off. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how I got into 3D fighting games, but pretty much played everything,
Okay. So how was the, we never really had like great arcades where I'm from Ohio originally, so we had like really bad bowling alley arcades where it would just be like 3 crane games, some Neo Geo Cab. And
what year would this be around though?
This is probably like 2000, like 2000 to like 2005.
Okay,
growing up.
So at that time, what's your question? I can tell you everything about arcade games, but.
So, like, what are some of the like core memories as a child in the arcade for you?
A lot of it was in Tampa based. University Mall. They used to have the arcade downstairs next to a Piccadilly's. You know what Piccadilly's is? A cafeteria.
Yeah.
And being 10, 11, 12, my mom would drop me off there for an hour, and I would just run
Okay.
around. Yeah. So, but one of the best moments I would say in my life at that time was Super Street Fighter 2 was out, just came out, and Mortal Kombat 2 just came out.
Mhm.
And so fighting games were already big, but these were like these sequels to rival each other. So they had one cabinet on one, and then right next to each other, another cabinet.
Mhm.
And back then, we had crowds, talking about 8 quarters on each one. The crowd of people.
Lined up,
I
ready
was,
to go.
I was 12, 13, and I didn't have a growth spurt till I was 15, 16.
Mhm.
So I was really short still. And the good thing about the arcade was there's always like a mirrored ceiling. And so I would watch the matches upside down from the reflection. And I remember saying to myself, man, it doesn't get any better than this.
Mhm.
You know, just 2 crowds. You know, which one do I want to have a winning streak on?
Yeah.
Because, you know, there was a lot of Asian stereotypes still back then. It was like, oh, he's a kid and he's Asian. He's
Yeah,
going
he's
to
just
be.
gonna be cracked
Yeah, but then I was like, yeah, that's right. So, you know, Mortal Kombat, but we had some good competition back then
Mhm.
too. But you didn't want to wait in the back of the line for like
Yeah.
30 minutes when I only had an hour to play.
Mhm.
So you had to be really good.
You had to keep your time,
yeah.
make it worth it for yourself.
So yeah, you know, that just started a whole bunch of, you know, good competition against,
Yep.
you know, local players all over. So yeah, that's one of the best memories right there. Just looking at both rival games and, you know, being too short, but just enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the story that like inspired this whole project is me like listening to that on your podcast, and I was like, I want to get like everyone's version of that. I want to get
Right.
everyone's like spark of, oh, like this is cool, like this is the hobby that I want to do.
Yeah. So I used to bowl Saturday mornings in a bowling league.
Mhm.
And then my friend's dad would drive us to Tampa Lanes. He would get a beer and cigarettes and just play pinball while we would play whatever was inside. Like Alpha 1, Alpha 2 was available back then. You know, first time seeing a lot of fighting games at Tampa Lanes was seeing, I guess it'd be around the 95 era, seeing a lot of King of Fighters for the first time.
Mhm.
Like, what's this? You know, they had X-Men vs. Street Fighter on like a big screen TV.
Okay.
And first time seeing that. You know, the game Time Killers.
Yeah, yeah,
They had a sequel that no one really isn't as popular. It was called Bloodstorm, and it was a really cheesy game, but you could do fatalities in the middle of the game.
yeah.
And it would end the round.
Okay.
But Tampa Lanes had that, and just a lot of different things. So, another good memory basically is finding out my first Ultra.
yeah.
Yeah, with I think it was Glacius on Killer Instinct at Tampa Lanes. I was like, oh, you know, we didn't have the internet back then.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is it's like
But-
back then it would very much be like, oh, like I know how to do this thing.
Right. People came in with spreadsheets or printouts, like
Mhm.
old computer
yeah,
paper,
the like
Yeah.
I forget what it is, but like that
and they would
like web text like typewriter font.
typewriter font. Yeah,
Yeah.
and people would have like their move list, and we would come with our own, whether handwritten or typed up.
Mhm.
So it'd be kind of like, let's see what compare notes,
Yeah.
and we test them out. And it was just through testing, jotting down, and then
Mhm.
like networking.
Yeah, just literally
Yeah.
sitting down and labbing it out and
Yeah,
bouncing it off of other people.
like finding those secrets with Reptile,
Mhm.
you know, Toasty, all that stuff was like, yeah. Woo. Oh, nice. I have a lot of games, you know, like so many arcade memories.
Mhm.
Like the way people play is also a funny thing.
Oh yeah, like
know.
everyone has their own like little play style and little.
I've been
quirks
really
they got.
self-conscious since I was little because I would see other people play. I'm like, ooh, hope I don't look like that.
Mhm.
We called this one guy Hoover because he'd always go. It's like,
That's
like,
great. I
okay.
love that.
Yeah, so we're like, okay, let's make sure I keep calm. You know, inside I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
right?
just
But outside I'm like,
true
eh.
panic.
Yeah. Which is what fighting games you gotta do. You know.
Oh yeah, you get it's
a,
all
a
mental.
non-stop chess match, and you gotta
Mhm.
be composed no matter what.
You know, I love
Especially-
watching the old VODs from specifically the Soul Calibur tournaments of just like seeing the mental chess and like hard reading what someone's gonna throw out and doing an
Yeah.
immediate counter to it.
That's why Frankie and I we love being on the, you know, being near the ring
Mhm.
outs. because we don't care.
Yeah.
You know,
I know, like, I'll watch that. That
Yeah.
man is constantly moving to edge. Like, the entire match is just, all right, how quick can I get this other person in ring out zone?
I'm like, sure, come on. Yeah. But yeah, it's let's see. Okay, yeah. I know how much. I don't know how much time. You got like a certain amount of.
We got to like 4 o'clock. We're good.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So, do you play any modern titles right now?
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2.
I
Okay.
say that right away. That's all I really play. Let's see. Yeah, I put in a lot of hours on Overwatch. My wife got me into it.
Okay.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I was like, sure, I'll try it out. I'm like,
kind of a similar
dang,
situation to me. I played Overwatch 1 like when it came out, and I didn't really follow it past that. And I started dating my current girlfriend, and she kind of got me back into Overwatch with her group of friends after 2 came out.
So you play 2 as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit. I haven't played much. I usually play either Reinhardt or
I'm a Reinhardt fan too.
yeah, either Reinhardt or Brig is who I play.
Nice.
And like a little bit of Cassidy, but he's like kind of unplayable right now. So
yeah, well, I like a challenge, so I'm like, I'll play him anyways.
Definitely fun though. Definitely my most like enjoyment character of whenever I don't know who to play, I'll just be like, oh, okay, I'll play Cass and have fun.
Yep. A little Wild West.
Yep.
After you. But besides that, I played a little Dead by Daylight a couple years ago.
Okay.
I think that game is pretty dang fun for I've always wanted to get that sense of adrenaline from hide and seek.
Oh,
but
yeah.
could never really find that in a other medium than hide and seek. And then that came out, and I'm like, oh, sweet. I can hide in lockers and be fucking scared. Something can chase me, and I can't do anything about it.
I love those like asymmetric like PvP games where it's like the 3-on-1 where one's like way stronger than the others. I always like games like that. I wish Evolve did it a little bit better, or like what was it? There was an AVP game that was like that.
Oh yeah.
Where it was like a team of Marines, you'd have a team of Predators, and you'd have a team of aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
And the aliens would just be like, it was like 16-player PvP, and there would only be able to be like 3 Predators, like 5 humans, and the rest could be aliens.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know you guys had a here at Neon Dreams. They had a Left 4 Dead 2.
Yeah, local.
Yeah. I was a huge Left 4 Dead 1 gamer.
I love
800
Left 4 Dead
hours.
games. That was all of like
so I wouldn't
middle
mind.
school for me.
Yeah, I never played 2. I tried it out and I didn't like it as much. But if there are people playing Left 4 Dead, I'm kind of down. So I'm looking forward to if they do it again.
Yeah, that's if we can get people for it, that's something me and Cody would like to keep like monthly. We love the 360 era LAN nights we do here with like Halo 3 and
right.
Gears of War. We're gonna try to have Halo 3 be monthly, like every month.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's your I know you don't play a whole lot of like modern fighting games, but what's your opinion on the like state of the industry for modern fighting games?
I think it's entered a new golden age era because there was a time, 2004 or 5, where Marvel 3 came out and it was hype for it, but kind of a letdown, I feel like. And Street Fighter 4 came out, kind of reinvigorated things, but like not as widespread. Street Fighter 5 came out, became I don't know.
Yeah.
Things more, fighting games in general. Mortal Kombat helped a lot, even though I feel like Mortal Kombat's a little cheesy now.
Yeah, I
but
get that.
It helped fighting games stay in the mainstream big time. And like, with Arc Systems games. I feel like, definitely there's like a whole lot more to choose from now. With some old classics as well, Soul Calibur still available. Tekken still is strong.
Yeah. I will say I like what Tekken and Street Fighter 6 have done a lot for the current fighting game atmosphere. Tekken 8 especially is just kind of like revitalized like a normal crowd playing fighting games. Because it was kind of sweaty there for a while where it wasn't like beginner friendly, or how they would try to be beginner friendly would be like the like cinematic controls, or like what does Guilty Gear use for nomenclature? Like flashy controls where it kind of auto combos everything.
So I was a huge, I mean, yeah, that was definitely a huge Tekken player. That was my main game. Um, Soul Tekken, uh, Tekken Tag, Tekken 3, Tekken Tag 2, you know, up to Tekken 7. It's just Tekken 8 I don't have, and I decided I don't feel like playing it anymore. I don't know, various reasons, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't have a PS5, and I don't really play PC as much.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here? Let's see. I'll give you some of this. So, like Tekken 8, I decided to enter tonight
Okay.
because it's on the same night as Soul 5, or Soul 2. Might as well, since I'm here.
Yeah, play it out.
And I've always been a Zafina player, so I looked at her move list online. I'm gonna practice a little bit here, but like I'll just see how I do. I don't mind. I don't mind not knowing everything. Kind of, you know, like a challenge. So, but
there's a.
don't underestimate Zafina. But yeah.
I know. I play Yoshi myself in Tekken, and it's interesting because it's
Yeah.
not about the win for me in Tekken 8 right now. I'm not like that good yet to compete, but it's very much like, what funny button can I hit on the other person to make them just like stop and think for a second?
Right. Not me. It's all about the win.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Partly true because you know I always want to give it my best. So of course it's gonna be. But yeah, a lot of good. Kind of, you know, old memories are coming back up, like good arcade memories or video game memories. Went to Evo in 2005. Mr. Yagami and I went for Tekken 5 that just came out.
Okay.
Went for Marvel 2 and Tekken Tag. I did really crappy on Tekken Tag. I did pretty decent in Marvel 2. And our Tekken 5 pools were on Sunday morning. Well, at that time, you know, we were younger in Vegas, Saturday night, you know, got a little too drunk, woke up a little too late, missed Tekken 5 altogether.
Hey, I mean, it'd be like that at that age, you know? Like
good times, though, yeah.
Yeah.
No matter
it's all
what.
about the memories. The tournament doesn't matter so much. All about the memories you make.
Yep.
Yeah, what was your thought the first time you were here at Neon? Like, what did you think?
Well, I was gushing over all the pictures. So I'm like, ooh, and then the Soul 2 cabinet, and I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, I very much had the same experience.
Yeah, but yeah, actually being here, it was good to see like an actual arcade set up nicely, you know, nicely lit. You know, it's not
atmosphere.
It's not too dark because you take really good pictures here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
the ambient lighting is
light's
nice.
good, and but it evokes that arcade feeling of, you know, being, you know, in a actual arcade. The cabinets are awesome. The game selection is like top notch. Literally told everybody, man, finally went to an arcade where, oh, this is the type of arcade I would set up.
Yeah.
All my favorite games are here. Yeah. So.
I wish we had. The only thing I wish we had was some light gun game.
Wait, who won the last game? Did I just beat you?
It was you.
Oh yeah. So, light guns? Like which one?
Like House of the Dead or Time Crisis or something. Yeah. We're looking. We're looking right
Lethal
now.
Enforcers.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that was fun. That's cool. Yeah. You know, definitely.
Just to like get the like trifecta.
The Trinity. Yeah.
Yep.
You got racing, rhythm, fighting. Well, I guess they quadfecta and shooting. Yeah. But
just to have a little something for everyone.
Yeah. Let's see, another game memory, arcade. This is overseas now. 2010. Frankie and I and another friend went to Hong Kong, and we played at the actual Namco. It's called Namco Wonder Park. Basically all Namco games, and Tekken 6 had just come out. 2010, yeah. And so we were playing there, and we played a local guy, and he was pretty decent. His name was Tommy Phoenix. I remember his name. And he told us, why are you playing here? It's overpriced, and none of the locals come here. And so Frank and I are like, oh, well, tell us where to go. So he actually set up a date for all the local players to meet up with us at a specific part in the city, in a Prince Edward arcade. That's what it was called. And so we went with all the best people to play Tekken 6 against them. And I got to hype up Mr. Yagami. So between the locals and I, we were pretty much on par.
Yeah.
I would get like maybe a 5 streak, then lose, then maybe, one, 50-50.
Yeah.
Frank got, up to 25, 30, 40. He had, I think he broke 50 streak.
That's
And all the
insane.
locals they stopped playing and just started watching. And I had to tell Frank, I'm like, hey man, you should let them win before they pull out some machetes on us. Old triad style. But yeah, Frank's on another level on back. Oh, he still is.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's still.
But like back then
around
too.
The bracket here.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an awesome experience because we had stopped all the local players from. Well, he had stopped all the local players from trying. But yeah, good Hong Kong arcade experiences for sure. But yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about you and Boone. How long does that rivalry go back? I know I see you two duking it out here on the Soul Calibur 2 cabinet.
I would say since 1997, 98.
Okay.
My older brother.
This feud has been around as long as I have been alive.
About 25, 26 years, yeah. So my older brother's named Wally. He's he used to be a manager at Electronics Boutique, which was pre-GameStop days. And Boone was also working. I think Boone was a manager as well. They worked with each other. My brother is 6 years older than me. Boone is right in between us. Boone's like 2 years older than I am, I think, 2 or 3.
Okay.
And I remember they hosted a Tekken 3 tournament there. And I remember, let's see. I used to because I draw. I would draw the Jin tattoo.
Yeah.
The devil Jin tattoo on my arm. I remember Boone just telling me like, "You dork," always. But yeah. So it started from back then. We would go to all sorts of tournaments. We travel all the way down to Orlando for the Jabali before CEO Jabali. He used to host tournaments at Rocky's Replay. That was the hot spot for Orlando, Altamont Springs. A lot of Soul Calibur tournaments there. Soul Calibur 1, of course. And we didn't even play Soul 2 actually that much. We played Soul 1.
Yeah, he's told me that you guys primarily played more Soul 1.
Which is, when I recount, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. But a lot of Marvel 2 back then for me. Third Strike was big, of course. So we played a lot of tournaments back then. And of course the local crowds here. A lot of time spent in his dojo, his room, his setup, hanging out there. Played a lot, and Tampa Lane's crowd, of course. Oh man, gotta stop you.
I had to go in there for a little bit.
I can't play and talk at the same time. Well, I can, but not really.
Not
but
well.
yeah, Boone and I stretches, it goes back far. And then, we fell out of touch in around 2000, right before 2001. And yeah. Maybe saw him once or twice, within the first couple of years, but hadn't seen him since then until 2023. Is it 23 now? Yeah, 24. So yeah, it was 20 years since I last saw him. A totally different person back then. I was a kid. Same with him. The life has changed. The world has changed. It was pre 9/11. Michael Jackson was still touring, you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely different time.
A lot of things. Yeah, pretty funny. Sometimes I'll be like, oh
Good
yeah.
job.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
it looked good on camera though.
Thanks. Oh shoot. But yeah, always a good rival.
And I remember. Was that one of the first times you've seen each other since then? Was the one night me and you were playing on the Soul Calibur 2 cab and he walked in?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm like, I recognize that voice. I could not believe it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was surreal for me.
Yeah. Definitely back to the stage of history.
Yeah, I remember you said that. I was like, Because I've never played this game in arcades. I played this like at home on the original Xbox and on the PS2. That was my
You know, one of the I skipped over this memory, arcade memory, playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at the Brandon Town Center arcade. It was Boone and I, and we had put our quarters up. There were two kids. I would say kids, but they're our age. Didn't put their quarters up. No etiquette. Right? So he went ahead in front of me, and I'm like, "What are you doing, man?" So I told him, I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he started kind of talking trash. So I'm like, I let it go, and I said, "Okay, fine." And I said, "We'll see." And I put my quarter back up, and then he goes, "What do you mean we'll see?" And I said, "We'll see. Just play, man. Whatever. I don't give a shit." Sorry if I cuss, but I was like,
fine.
and then he started getting in my face, and I'm like, "Dude, just play the fucking game."
Yeah, like it's not that deep.
Then Boone came in, and he goes, I forget what he said, but he came in kind of aggressively, and this kid did a sucker punch on Boone, and they started fighting. It was a physical fight on the ground. So Marvel 2 was set up back then, big screen TV. There's a space here, and then there was the joysticks.
Okay,
so
yeah.
you know, that type of setup. And they were tussling. Where I guess I don't know. They went off to the side. It landed on the ground. And I was I was yelling at them to stop. I'm like, dude, come on, stop fighting. The bigger guy behind him, his friend, all of a sudden out of nowhere, this hand just came and grabbed my throat. It pulled me over the joysticks. I was between the screen and the joysticks. And martial arts techniques just came in. Break the elbow, you know, break the grip. My hat, I used to wear a hat all the time back then. My hat fell off. I was pissed. I went and grabbed my hat like Terry Bogard would. I put it back on, and I'm like, and then they were missing. I didn't see them. I was like, where the fuck did they go? And I was like, I didn't see anybody. They had already been out of the arcade, and I was walking like Anakin from Episode 3, where he's circling Obi-Wan, like you are my. I was, you know, like a lion circling a prey. I was like, dude, I'm just walking to those guys. Jimmy was there, Boone, and then the security cops were there as well. They could see my the aura, and they told me like, "Oh, slow down." I was about to just I didn't care. I was like, "Okay, we all got kicked out of the mall."
Oh, of course.
But yeah, that was definitely a memory, you know.
Just
And I gotta give it to
actual
the Boone,
anime moment.
Yeah, he definitely got my back that time too, for sure. You know, and we were like. Back then, I still relive that moment because I kicked myself in the teeth for getting caught off guard. That guy had my life in his hands, and he was a strong dude. I'm like, man.
Insane.
So ever since then, I'm like, let me practice some more. I don't let that happen again. Oh, man. But yeah.
It was super surreal. So there's in my
sorry.
In my friend group, there's this joke that Sega keeps gatewaying me into playing Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
So it started out I had a Dreamcast at one point before I played Soul Calibur, but I never played Soul Calibur Soul Edge on the Dreamcast. I played Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah.
So then it went from me playing Phantasy Star Online to playing Soul Calibur 2 was the game that I played. Then after that, moving on to the 360 era, I started playing Phantasy Star Universe because I was a Phantasy Star fan.
Yep.
And then
I love the artwork, by the way, Phantasy Star.
Oh yeah, I love that art style.
I stole one of the displays just because of the art. Yeah, the art style was really good.
That I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. Over the top anime sci-fi future art style. I love it.
Yeah.
And then meeting some people on Phantasy Star Universe, and then they got me back in with Soul Calibur 4.
Soul 4, yeah.
And then now going from Soul Calibur 4 to 5 to 6 to then on 6 meeting people that I now play Phantasy Star Online 2 with.
Okay.
So it's just the never-ending cycle of
So you never played. When did you start playing Soul 2?
I played Soul 2 on the PS2.
Oh, they had the. Oh wait, never mind. Go ahead. Sorry. was
trying to
thinking
think what was around. I want to say it was after MK Deception came out.
Oh,
So
yeah.
MK Deception was my MK Deadly Alliance was my first
Oh,
like real 3D fighting game, if you can call it that.
Oh yeah, that was a
I still love those games. I know they're not great, but I still love
no,
the
but
era
like
of MK trying to be a 3D fighter.
yeah, so many hits, so many misses.
Yeah.
But you know, timeless.
Mhm.
Um,
And then just Armageddon
yeah,
being insane, having the largest roster, but just being
everybody.
like miserable to play.
Yeah.
And then having your story mode in a fighting game, having it be a beat 'em up.
So I stopped playing Mortal Kombat after Ultimate 3.
Mhm.
I didn't like 4's mechanics, and after that it kind of became a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still a huge 2 and 3 player. I love Ermac,
Okay. Yeah.
and 2 I would play everybody. Back then as a kid, you learned everybody, all the moves,
Oh
because
yeah.
move list wasn't long, and all the fatalities and babalities and all that crap. But definitely Sub-Zero, Scorpion, stuff like that.
Yep.
But,
Gotta.
Soul 2 is my favorite. Soul 3 I hated because they started, well, Soul 3 started changing up moves that were pretty much staples.
Gotcha.
You know, Mitsurugi's stance change was different. So
Mhm.
like, oh well, I don't want to relearn that because
Yeah.
it
To
sucks.
like wash the input of the
Yeah,
like better game out of
it's
your
like
head.
changing the Hadouken to a backwards.
Yeah. And it's
And
like
like, why
what?
would you do that?
Like.
Hockey, all that stuff changed. So I just stopped
Mhm.
playing Soul. Soul 4 was fun because of Star Wars.
Yep, Star Wars.
Soul 5 was great because of the customization.
Yes, I loved the character
I had some
creator.
awesome.
Yeah, I remember my
Yeah.
group of friends. He was writing a book for a while, and he would like make his characters from his book in there and do like storylines. So
Oh,
we
we had
had like running
storylines. Yeah, we
storylines.
had
Yeah.
storyline. Like I had a. Hey, you're fighting the general now. You're fighting the king. You're fighting
Yeah.
the boss version. This is the prequel version, Frank.
Yeah.
You know, like,
This is his like evil version,
right.
and then you
The
have
one with
like
the fur coat.
Yeah.
That's when he's like. So that was fun, and you could like back then, or not back, but for Soul 5, you were able to put customizations on top of other things to
Oh,
make
yeah.
a new object.
Mhm.
And I did that all the time, trying to make a sick helmet.
Oh yeah.
But
With all the like crests and like add-ons and the
Yeah.
extras tab. Yeah.
I made some awesome horns everywhere. shooting
Yeah.
out the back.
We need every set of horns on
I
one character.
I have some videos of it on Frank's YouTube, Yagami's YouTube. We have some old Soul 5 fights and older from VHS Soul 2 fights, but I sometimes rewatch the Soul 5 ones just to see my characters again.
Yeah. That's something I wish I had was my old 360, just to like see the golden age like customization.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, we're about running out of time here.
Okay.
All right, I want to say thank you, Jet, for coming
right, yeah,
on. Always
man.
a pleasure to see you here in the
Thanks.
arcade. All right, do you have anything you want to plug or any send-offs here at the end?
Nah, I don't need to plug anything. Just you know, congrats on the
Yep.
No
Thank
Signal.
you.
Looking forward to more episodes and seeing who you bring on. You know,
First
and-
episode with Hootie's going great.
Yeah, good. I haven't caught the second episode yet. Definitely gonna watch that. Been on, as you know, I've been on vacation. But looking forward to see who you're playing tonight. You surprised me last time. You were playing. I thought you were gonna pull out Nightmare. But
Yeah,
you
I played Mitsurugi a little more.
So we'll see what you do tonight, and definitely we'll play some more in a little bit.
All right. Well, thank you. This has been No Signal. We'll see you in the next one.
No Signal apply!